Show of hands, who thinks they have an awesome mentor in this business? I love that. Okay? We have incredible leadership here at NUL Life. Okay? That's why you have a mentor. You have someone that can help you. I have been doing this, and I hate to date myself because this sound like I'm super old. But I have been, yeah, the gel is working, clearly. I mean, right? When you look at the 20 some odd years I've been doing this, I still have a mentor. Yeah, I still have one. I learned time. Okay? Because I recognize that our industry changes. There's lots of things that are happening. If I'm connected to my mentor and I'm able to learn from him, and her, I actually have two, right? I'm able to pick up things I didn't know, but that mentor is so important. That's what you do that first day. You put, my mentor is, you put their email down, you put your phone number on speed dial, because you're going to be talking to that person all the time, okay? That's what you do in your first video. Then you go, okay, now I've connected to Blueprint, connected to the Getting Started PDF, now I want to connect that with someone else, right? So I bring somebody in the business, and I'm like, I want to connect you to what I know. And it starts with this connection list, right? So now I've built this list. And we always talk about warm market and cold market, don't we? And it's one of the industry terms. Now, you know, people say, well, who's in your warm market? Anybody you know, right? And that you have a relationship with. And people say, well, I don't know if I want to talk to anybody I know, right? The point is, this is where you built relationships of trust. This is by sharing, is you start with sharing people who know you, right? Who understand what you're doing. And basically, can be anybody that's on that list. And you'll say, well, I've been through that whole part. Now I've got to talk to people I don't know, which will be your cold market, right? How do we, just give me a quick comment, how do we typically talk about connecting to cold market? Anybody got any good ideas? What's that? None other than Liz Hardy, the rock star on Facebook, right? All right? We connect through Facebook. Like we talk about how we can add tag message, however that looks, right? We start talking about how we can make those connections. Any other good ideas? What else do you guys do? TikTok's great. We're at Instagram. All these social platforms are out here so that you can start building relationships. Okay? Now, before we go on, well, I don't want to take Liz's thunder because I know she'll talk about this, but you've got to be genuine. You've got to be authentic when you're building these relationships, right? However that looks. No matter what we do, we're never salesy, we're never hypey. You should build that relationship because you want to build a relationship, not because you want to sell something. It's all about connecting. It's all about being you and being genuine and authentic, right? If that's at the focus of what you do great, okay? So you build this list. Then, now it's time to connect. So I've built this list, and you can see this is in our third video. This is the connect video. And actually what happens is, actually our second video. You pull this sheet up, right? And you look at this sheet. And what happens is there's connecting, sharing, and inviting. At the focus of what we do in Blueprint are those three items. You're always connecting, you're always sharing, and you're always inviting, okay? Now, they even have columns on this spreadsheet where you move people along. So what will happen is you'll take that list that you've created, and you'll take 20 of the names that are on that list, and you'll put them in the connect column. You're like, I connected with these guys. I feel like they're a part of that. I'd like to start working on that particular list and see if I can share something with them, okay? So you put that list on here. You're going to have about 20 people you start with that are in that column. Now, as people move along through the columns, you always want to keep about 20 people in that column, right? That's the people, that's the group of people you work with. So just keep 20 people in there. Keep it rolling, and as they move through the process, always keep 20 people in the connect column. Now, if you start moving them along, you say, hey, look, you've added people to your list. Your goal is to reach out and connect with 5 all the time. So as I'm moving people off that list, all 5 of those I'm connecting with. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to keep working with these people and see how they work through their journey with NUL Life. The best part about it is you just keep moving them on. Remember, your goal here is just to connect. You're just building a relationship. Okay? That's all you're going to do. Now, as you move along, you say, well, how do I do that? Now, I'm going to need Johnny, you come help me. Will you help me for a second? I always call on Johnny. He's my go-to. Okay? Diamond Ambassador, John.
I'm so nervous. What do you from me?
Okay. So let's look at this list really quick. Okay? Now these are some of the scripts that we use in NUL Life, right? Mm-hmm. And when you look at them, this is questions that we ask. These are ways we talk to people, right? So if I looked at this and I said, okay, I want to connect with someone about the gel. Right? So on the bottom of this PDF that's attached to this video, there's this script. So you're going to be you, I'm going to be them.
Okay.
Okay, so you get to ask the question, then I'll respond and we'll walk through it real quick.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm glad we're able to talk. I'm so excited about something I've been using. And I wanted to know if you've ever heard about the gel.
No, I've never heard about the gel.
Okay, a friend introduced me to the product to me, and it's very amazing. It's the first product that leverages the power of HGH, and it's going viral. I wanted to make sure you hear about it from me. I think it's something that you'd be into. I'm going to send you a short 4-minute video, and allow me to call you after to gather your thoughts.
Okay, so here's a couple things Johnny's done. You did fantastic.
Well, thank you.
You're so good. Stay.
Oh, stay.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can't go anywhere. Okay.
I
Okay.
get so nervous when I'm up here.
Yeah, like you're nervous.
Why are they
You
looking
haven't
at
been
me?
nervous a day in your life. Okay. He says here, a friend introduced the product to me and it's very amazing. What happens when you do that? When you say that to someone, I'm not saying you have to repeat this word for word, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying conceptually, when someone says that, what happens? What's that? It's credibility, right? I had a friend introduce this to me, and it's amazing, right? So all of a sudden, you're giving credibility, and you're telling them it's been an amazing experience, right? Then Johnny said, it's the first product that leverages the power of HGH, and it's going viral. So what happens when you say those two things together? Trending. Yeah, it's trending. It's viral. It's cool, right? It's something that everybody's talking about. It's something you can be a part of. And when you mention HGH, you're also hitting a trigger word, right? Someone goes, oh, HGH, I've heard of that, right? Then he goes on to say, I wanted to make sure you hear about it from me. So what's Johnny doing when he says that? He's saying, I'm your dog, right? I'm the guy, right? I want to tell you about it because it's that important to me, okay? Then finally when it says, I'm going to send you a short 4-minute video and allow you to just talk afterwards, right? Talk what your thoughts are, okay? So he's doing some key things in there, and I want to make sure you understand them. Again, this doesn't have to be word for word for you. You may say, well, I can't say that because that would sound like I'm crazy if I did, right? However that looks, understand that that's the science, right? That's the parts and pieces you're connecting on when you say those things. And finally, Johnny gets to give him a call of action, right? So every time you're having one of these conversations, you'll see at the bottom, there's an action piece, right? Send to get on the gel video. Then you get to follow up and ask, okay? Now, Johnny, just to put you on the spot, what's your favorite follow-up after you send in the gel? What do you like to ask him?
Sometimes I'll send the doctor videos. I'll do the doctor videos. But I love to say, jump on a gel and tell, or get on the opportunity, or let's do a 3-way call with one of my guys. I mean, you know me. You may think, I have credibility with you, but let me put my guy on the phone with you because I think I can explain it and show you this, the opportunity and the product in a different light. It's not coming from me. Third-party validation, I think, is so huge.
Love it.
And,
You actually finished my whole presentation.
Oh,
Great
sorry
job.
about
Good. Okay. No, stay right here. Okay. So
I'm trying to get off as quick as possible.
So now you're connecting with others, but maybe you want to do it with MLT, right? Basically the same thing. I'm so glad we're able to talk. I'm so excited about something I've been using. I want to know if you've heard about MLT, right? Same thing. We're asking the question. We're piquing interest. Then all of a sudden it goes, no. Well, if you introduced me to MLT, it's amazing, right? You walk through that same sort of formulaic piece. And at the end of the day, same call to action, right?
Same thing.
Send the MLT transformational video.
Same thing.
Okay? Now, before you go, because you did so good.
Okay.
So Johnny kind of walked us through. He said, okay, I'm going to share this particular piece. Now what I want to do is I want to be able to share something else with them. Because you've shared that piece, but like you said, a lot of times people will want additional information. So here's the $1 million question. How do you know what to send next? If I walk you through the process, we'll ask these guys first and we'll come back to you.
Sure.
How do you know what to send next? If you send the Get On the Gel video, what would be a trigger for you to know what to send them next?
If they watched it, when you see that they watched it, you ask for feedback.
That's a great piece of feedback, right? Well, did you actually watch it? Oh, good. Now, does it happen all the time that they watch it? No, right? So what do you do if they don't? Follow up, right? Who said that? And that was like a deep voice, like, follow up. All right, very good, right? You follow up. It's exactly what you do. You follow up and you see what happened. So what's a good question when you follow up? Oh, sorry, go ahead. You had your hand up. Yeah, sorry, you did. I apologize. You're like,
Follow Paul's method from Power Hour.
yeah. Paul gives these instructions all the time. So let me go back to my first comment. When you're on the calendar, connect to a power hour. Guess what? You'll learn all this stuff. You'll learn what to say. You'll learn how to say it, right? You'll learn all the things you need to do to take the next step, right? You guys, they do such a brilliant job. Thank you, okay? And you can, as you follow up, if you led with product or if you led with opportunity, both of these are available to you. You just have to connect to them, right? And understand what you need next. All right, so before I let you go, you said something very important. Well, you said a lot of important things, but I'm going to key on this one thing, okay? You said you invite others to act. You invite them to gel and tells and things like that. I want to share something with you guys. I pulled this off of our, I want Johnny to help me do this, okay? This is the gel and tell invite. This is on your PDF, okay? When you go to invitation, which I think is like the fourth or fifth video in our series, the PDF's attached, right? This is the gel and tell invite, right? So it says, I want to invite you to hear from people that are experiencing amazing results from our products. They will also do random giveaways of free bottles of the gel to guests just for coming. Will you join our next gel and tell and then add the date and time, right? Is that basically what you would say, Johnny, if you were there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, nothing is better than letting someone hear from people, like when we do these testimonials, nothing builds my belief, and I know it's for you too, when you hear someone's story and you're like, man, I never heard that one before, and it's another feather in your cap, and it builds your belief. And so for a new person, it's great, they might have heard your story, but to hear from two other strangers, like a woman and a man, there's any walk of life, but to hear Drew's story, to hear Darlene's story, they're so powerful. At least the person's going to be interested. I got to try this stuff. At least I got to try the gel. Never mind the business, but try the product.
Love it. Then it's all that third-party validation, right? So when you're walking through this process, there's three-way call. Right? So the power of a three-way, you said, is so important because you said one of the best things to do is get them on a three-way. You give them that credibility, right? You build that, they call it the trust-respect triangle all the time, right? Here, this is a great question. With me being new to the business, well, Johnny, let me ask you a question. Do you have to be new to business to say me being new to the business? You don't, right? We're all new to the business. We're constantly learning. We're constantly growing. With me being new to this business, I'd like to know more as well. Let me see if I can set up a call with someone that has 100%, and I learned that from Joe, 100% of the information, and we can learn together.
Yeah.
Right? Simple stuff. So again, going back to those connections, you're connecting three-way calls, you're connecting with all the stuff you do, and you're making sure people are connected to the right people. John, you did also.
The three-way call, by the way, thank you. The three-way call, by the way, is your training. It's for you. You're on, quiet, you introduce, you connect, and as you're sitting there, you're learning all of this incredible stuff that the person who's handling the call, so it's like on-the-job training. The more three-ways you do, the more you realize, oh my God, I know exactly what to say and what not to say. It's on-the-job training, so
you nailed it. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank
Johnny,
you.
thank you. So, and the only reason I wanted to walk through that exercise with you is I want you to understand how detailed Blueprint really is, okay? Now, Blueprint's not static. We didn't get together as a group of leadership and a corporation and say, you know, we're going to complete this ginormous, we're so cool that we're going to build this training system that never changes and that no. Basically, we know foundationally what you need to do to be successful. The best part about Blueprint is I'm hoping you're going to use it. You're going to come back and say, I used this script, it didn't work for me, but I like this. Or I tried this, and this was something that really worked for me. That's the idea behind Blueprint, that we're using it, that it's dynamic, that it's robust, and it keeps getting better. So your job, and I'll give you an assignment, is to use it and call me. Say, Stoney, I love this part. I don't like this part. How does this work? How does that work? Let's make Blueprint what it can be, right? Finally, the last video you're going to watch is what we call Go Promoter. And I'll say this categorically. When Steve and I go and we look through all the numbers in the corporation, if you asked us what's the most position in the company, Steve and I would probably say, you got to get to a promoter and you got to get to a coordinator, right? We talk about that all the time. Promoters, basically, you're helping to get there too, right? And as you do this, what happens is you create the kind of momentum in the corporation that you are in your business that you need, right? We will talk about becoming a promoter all the time. And as a matter of fact, in this particular sheet, you jump in here and it says, don't lose momentum. You're writing in blanks 1 and blank 2, the 2 people you're going to help become a promoter. Just start there. Say, I've got these 2 people. I want for them to become a promoter. And how you're going to do that is you're going to connect them to Blueprint. You're going to help them understand the things that are in there. You're going to help them know by what you've learned and what your mentor has taught you how they can build a business going forward, okay? I'll close with this really quickly. I had 8 years ago when I was watching a show, and I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a Special Olympics race. Everyone lined up. I think it was like maybe a 40-meter dash. Anyway, it was a short race. Lines up, the gun goes off, and they all take off running. And about halfway up the track, one of the Special Olympians trips, falls down. Now, I've watched 101 races and competed in 101 events, and I've never seen this happen. All the other racers stopped. They turned around. They came back, put their arms around this one racer, and carried him across the finish line. And I was like, oh, this is awesome, right? This is what I wanted to see. Now, I only tell you all that to tell you this. That's who we are. We're the group that puts our arms around someone else, carries them across the finish line, okay? This business, you cannot be successful unless you are helping someone else to achieve what they want. The magic in Blueprint is not that it's revolutionary. It's not that it's something you may have never heard before. It's your connect with the person that you brought in, your arm around them, and help them get across the finish line. That's what it's designed to do. That's why we built it. And when I say we, our leaders and us built it. So my Blueprint something that you do day in, day out, and watch as it helps you to transform your business. I guarantee you. You guys, I really appreciate this.
Give it up for Stoney. One more time for Stoney, yes. All right, so we're actually making up time. We started an hour late, but we're going to make up some time. This next presenter is coming up. She wants to share her heart, share her story. We'll talk about using the power of the system. Put your hands together for Melanie Jordan. Yeah.
Hello, can you guys hear me okay? I'm so excited, it is warm. I'm just telling you right now, you guys don't know how blessed you are to be in Florida, okay? I left 27 below last night at midnight, okay? Night before last at midnight. If you haven't heard my story, I'm Melanie Jordan. I'm the one from Alaska. I'm also the one that has a stork on her house. I have 9 kids. I have been in the bar business for almost 25 years. And I did another direct sales since I was 18. It was my fun time. My real business was my bar business and my bar and restaurant business. And I loved it. I loved it. I lived an epic life. I have great kids. My parents were missionaries. My dad's a bush pilot. My mom was a missionary. So I grew up in rural Alaska. I was a homeschooled kid. And then I got to see the real world, right? I leave Alaska and I'm like, wow, look at this great place. And then I started having kids and I quickly went back home, right? Good to be with my family and to raise my kids there. And I truly love to travel, but I really love Alaska. It is the most beautiful place in the world. And if you ever get to come and see me, I would love to show you around and see the North Pole. It's nothing like it. And what I've learned in that different lifestyle that I lead is that the bar business was very quick I could be a good mom. I ended up single with a lot of kids, and I could work on the weekends and make a lot of money. And so I used that to my advantage for a very long time. I opened my first bar when I was 23. I was very quick to be successful in the entrepreneurship side of things. I was a workaholic, and I tried to balance my children's life with that kind of upbringing. The difference is in this direct selling business that I was in, they looked at me with a mom with a whole bunch of kids. They had no idea that that same person was going to go own a bar and work 90 hours a week, right? They looked at me and they saw this mom with all these kids and she was homeschooled. And I joked with Jay yesterday and I said, I'm gonna show up with bunny boots and Carhartts because that's my real life, right? That's my everyday life. You see me on the scoreboard and you guys are all so great to me. You guys send me the best messages. I love it so much. But really that's my everyday life. I don't look like this. I don't go out and network people like this. My everyday life is going to cut wood and hauling water, going and see a moose in the yard. I mean, I did a Facebook. I'm like, look, it's right outside, right? Like, and you like show everybody. But that same person is the same person that was very successful in a different business. And so in my story, I think we need to think about who you really know that inside her or him has something, the inside, that inner voice that says, I'm meant to do something more, right? Like I was meant to be bigger than the world that I was living in. And so I went out and became successful in this business. And I did great. I bought and sold a couple different bars in my lifetime, worked with a bunch of different people, which was super amazing, right? But I never saw anything different. And so when just before COVID happened, I shut down my bar, and I never in a million years could honestly say that I thought I would be in network marketing as a full-time position, as something that I wanted to do. I was very quick to look at the next best thing. Like, what's coming next? What am I going to do next? I'm going to take this chapter to take care of my parents. I'm going to take this chapter to take care of my kids. And what's going to be the next best thing? And so I posted a picture of my weight loss. See, 2 years ago this month, somebody offered me that gel. And I could look at beautiful Marie come up here, right? And she told a beautiful story. I'm not Marie. I couldn't tell you any of that stuff, yet you see me on the scoreboard. I couldn't tell you 90% of most of the benefits that are in all of our products. But you can see me on the scoreboard because I tied in to Paul's Power Hour. And I listen to the words that he tells me because I'm a meat and potatoes kind of girl, right? Like, so I want to know, you tell me what to say and I can copy you. I live in a place where I live in a town that there's 500 people in my town. There's about 150 miles. We have 90,000 people. There's 2 stores within 50 miles, right? That's my network, right? Like if I was going to go out and be networked. But for me, with Facebook, Danielle talks about a social selling algorithm. And I was like, what? What is this? I have to spend 30 minutes a day saying happy birthday to people that I do or don't know, adding a few friends, and making 25 comments. I could do that. I found out that you could spend 5 hours a week on Gel and Tells. I could probably recite almost all of Kelly. I take notes all the time when Kelly's talking. And her and Joe and Johnny are all on there. I hear their voices in the background all the time. I got everybody down, right? And I listen to different things. Dawn was talking about, why are you selling an amazing litter box if they don't have a cat? And I took that. I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, pull this person out of this category. She looks slamming. She don't need that. She needs to sleep better. But everybody's got skin. So Rose and Cole, I'm telling you, you should be talking to everybody because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm talking to everybody because they have skin. Rose and Cole is going to be the big, M&T is awesome. Rose and Cole is going to take us to the next chapter. I 110% believe it. But the system that I've been using, everybody sees this, right? And they give me great compliments and they give me great little Facebook messages. But I'm telling you right now, if those people didn't have it, they have it all there for us. When I started talking to somebody and I feel like it's past my pay grade, and I'm like, I don't know, that 3-way call. Jay, what are you doing right now? I'm about to call this girl. She's a doctor. She has a bio, and I've been working on her for 3 months, and she says she's willing to talk to me in 5 minutes. And he was like, I'm watching football, I'll pause. You don't find people in a company like that. You don't find people who are going to stop, who has never met me. He's never met me. He doesn't know me. I've been on a couple Zoom calls. He sees my name on a cute little thing, but he doesn't know me. And he gave me his personal number and says, I will do anything you need to help you succeed in this business. Where do you find that in any company? If you don't believe that you are in the best company right now, New Life is going to do amazing things. Well, I could walk right now out there. I talked to a lot of people in the last 24 hours, okay? Let me just tell you. I'm in the real world, and I'm like, business card network, what are you doing Saturday morning? Oh, you have church? I'm so sorry. Wait. I said Saturday morning. Oh, Seventh-day Adventist. Okay, so I didn't know that. Not gonna lie. But I've been networking, and maybe I won't see any of them, and maybe I won't have one guest show up tomorrow. But I have their number. And in 6 weeks from now, or in 2 weeks from now, that doesn't mean that no, they can't come see me tomorrow because I'm super excited, right? Does not mean in 3 months from now they're not maybe ready to listen to me. Something might happen in their life. The person that added me to their team, when Linda asked me if I wanted to do it, she caught me in a perfect time. I just started dating somebody who is constantly ridiculous about my sleep. I believed you could sleep when you're dead. I had 9 kids. I got 6 of them out of the house. Yeah, there we go, right? I did good. I mean, to me, I did good, okay? And then I added 6 more to my life, and I still have 3 of my own. So it's a frat house at my house every single day. And I felt like I wanted to be the best mom I could be because I was doing it on my own. So I wanted to put all of my efforts into raising good children. But that also took money. And I was not going to be just that person that just did whatever. I was going to make sure that they could go to that school dance. I was going to make sure that they could go to another country. I was going to make sure that they could do the things that other kids that were homeschooled, that were single parents, that could not do. And that was a priority for me. Now, fast forward into this chapter. This time, right now in NUU life, because of COVID, I really honestly believe people are looking for us. We don't have to go find them. They're already looking for us. We just have to be the one that's open and willing to say, hey, I have something. I don't know if it's for you or not, but I think it might be. Or you might know somebody it might work for. And talk about what happened to you. Or maybe what happened. He was talking about being in a car accident at 70. Instantly, all I could say is, thank you, Jesus, that I was able to not have an experience like that, that I was able to run at 90 miles an hour my whole life. And in this chapter, that I got to get the sleep that I need. And I'm not drinking 5 rock stars. This is my normal stuff, by the way, guys. This is not rock star Mel, okay? So if you can imagine, okay, people are like, sure she gave up those rock stars. I mean, even Beth asked me, she was like, are you sure you don't no, you don't want to see me now because now it's real good, right? Like when you give up something for a while and you have it, it's like real good. No, this is my normal self. But I was going on 20 hours a day. And I was that hyper self in this bar business, and I was creating an atmosphere to love on people. Everybody was hugging on mama. I've been mama forever. And then I was coming home and pouring into these children to raise good adults. Now that COVID has happened, there is more and more people just like me who live that life, who is super excited, and then said, I don't want to go back to that again. You could not pay me any amount of money to go back and have payroll taxes, interviews for employees, doing anything else at all. And so I want you to know that you are in the best business in the world right now. And I want you to come tie into these people and let them pour into you because they will take you right to the top with them.
Awesome. Great job. Hey, anybody want an MLT? That guy right there has been working his tail off for weeks to do this. Paul Capozio, Diamond Ambassador. He's been wearing the same Rose and Cole shirt for a month. He smells lovely. Okay, here we go. 206-035. Huh? No? Okay. Okay. I was in the bathroom. Here we go. We're doing it again. 206-020. No way. Wait a minute, but yet there's only one ticket? All right, we gave you an MLT. You want something different? You don't care? How about that's all that? Cool. Little Ruby, there you go. Look at this. I think the fix is in, She's not allowed to come up anymore. She's like, it's me again. I'm like, So this next guy, I really want you to give him a lot of love. This is what I love about this industry. I did not know Kenny Olson prior to the last venture I was in. Got a phone call from a friend who said, hey, we're going to open up Massachusetts with my last company. And who do you know? And he only knew one guy. So Kenny called Kenny, and then obviously he got involved, became one of my biggest producer. So when this company fell in our lap, he actually brought it to me. So the last opportunity, we were like, hey, Kenny, what about this? He came back to me, he goes, I think I have something for us. And how serendipitous, how perfect, because our last company closed its doors on December 1st, 2017. Got a call about the jail 2 weeks later, right? So if I was busy and we were into what we were doing, it would never happen. So I owe this dude a great deal of love. Kenny Olson, Diamond Ambassador.
Turn me in, yeah. All right, there we go. All right. My name is Kenny Olson. Thank you for that introduction. I'm as close to J-Lo as just about anyone on the planet that I respect and love and admire, and he has been unbelievably responsible for any success that I've had here. So thank you for that. So this gives a little bit of my background, founding Diamond Ambassador in NUL Life. But real estate's been my career. Real estate's what I have always done. And so I was asked to talk about how I weave this into the course of my day. And so that background with real estate, and as John mentioned, a little bit of experience with the network marketing piece. And what I looked at when I saw this model, I saw leverage, I saw duplication, I saw scale, I saw retention, and then sustainability. And that got me excited. And then the uniqueness of this product offering, complete exclusivity, first to market, virtually no competition, ease of application, it just resonated with me. And so I haven't pivoted. Real estate's what I do. But what I have done is I figured out how to fit this into the course of my day. And I'm always doing something with NUL Life. It's never where it's like, okay, this is a NUL Life day. I just incorporate it. If I know that I have showings, I might make a phone call during the course of, traveling to a showing. If I find that somebody is worth mentioning the gel to, I'll do it elegantly. I try not to cross-pollinate. So I don't talk to my buyers and sellers about the gel. I'm their real estate agent, and I don't want them to think that they don't have my undivided attention. So I'm a 7-figure earner in this company. Every single Friday, I send Alexi a thank you because I'm so grateful, so incredibly grateful. I'm probably 200 weeks in a row with a check with a comma in it every Friday, direct deposit. And it's been transformative for me. So thanks to the corporate team for that and being in place for me and master distributor, Joe, Paul Capozio. Actually, I'm going to get a chance to identify some folks. So how did a 32-year real estate professional go part-time to Diamond in NUL Life? My dad, my whole life, he talked to me about luck. And he always told me he'd rather be lucky than good. And I never understood that. And I actually think luck and timing, they go hand in hand. So I was born in 1965, and so that meant I graduated high school in 84, college in 88, and that was my path. And so I was ready to buy a house in 1992. It was the bottom of the real estate market. Had nothing to do with me, it was luck, and I still have that house today. And so you can, again, timing had played a role as well. So if I was born in 1961 and graduated in 1980 in high school in 84, college, I would have been ready to buy a house in 88, and that would have been the peak of the market. And then the market completely tanked. And I can remember talking to sellers who were upside down in their mortgages just as a function of they were ready to buy at that particular time. And obviously, we've seen what's gone on with the market. It turned around. So again, this whole luck component has definitely played a factor with the success that I've had within this model. Now, the timing piece, I've always said you just can't time timing. Chris Cavanaugh called me on my 52nd birthday, and he said, "What do you know about HGH?" And I knew nothing about HGH. I knew it was controversial. I knew it was expensive. I thought injections, but scandal, cheating, and doping. That's what I knew about HGH. And I thought Lance Armstrong and Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, home run race, Balco, and we're in San Francisco, Balco's in San Francisco. So I started connecting the dots, and I'm thinking, I don't know that I want to get involved with this. He said, no, he goes, I'm talking about something that's a gel. It's got a transdermal delivery. I didn't understand FDA registered National Drug Code, and I couldn't explain it. So he said, I'm going to send you a video, take a look at it, and that's what I did. I looked at the video, I showed it to my wife, and we both thought, wow, who wouldn't want to try this? You know, it can help you look a little younger, feel a little younger, perform like you did when you were a little younger. And so we tried it. So I ordered it on December 18th. I got it on December 20th. So Wednesday evening, December 20th, 2017 was my first gelling experience. And then I had impact Saturday into Sunday night. And it was a vivid dream. I didn't even know if it was the gel. So, but what I did know was, all right, maybe I'm going to pick up the phone and share this with somebody. So I did. I picked it up. I shared it with a friend of mine at that time for 30 years, now 34 years. And Mark could not have been any, I didn't get the second H out in HGH, and he said, I can't go anywhere near that. They were doing random drug testing for steroids and growth hormone, and I couldn't explain, again, that it's microdosed. There's no concern of that. And I didn't want to jeopardize his career. There's random drug testing. He could get suspended. So what I did do is I said, I'm going to call John. And that's what I did. I called John, and here's the big difference with the conversation. No mention of HGH. I said, John, Christine and I just started using a supplement you need to know about. He said, tell me about it. I said, I can't talk to you intelligently about it, but I can get someone on the phone that can. And that pivot, and he would have honored listening to me anyways, I believe, but that pivot really changed things because I was able to get Joe Giuliano on the phone, and I didn't know Joe. And Joe was able to explain it, and so I was on the phone learning at the same time, listening to the explanation. We hung up the phone, and John calls me back, and he said, hey, give me your link. I'm going to order that stuff. I'm heading to California for the new year, and I want to have it before I leave. And then I called Mark, and when I called Mark, Mark said, if John's doing it, he's coming in through me, so send me your link, and I'll order the stuff. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to take it to internal affairs, get it blessed. And so that's what happened. That was the order of things. So this next slide, this relationship piece, I think is more important than luck and timing. You know, and when it comes to credibility, and Chris Cavanaugh taught me this, you need credibility to get credibility. So a lot of times we're approaching people that we don't even know how they perceive us. So I think it's really important to understand how you are perceived by that person. If they don't respect you, not likely that they're going to listen to you with, you know, they're going to be dismissive in their head. They may pacify you. And so I was able to get John's attention through a great explanation that Joe Giuliano gave. So I want to share, this is what happened. And hopefully you can see the numbers. I was able to pull this. This was July of 2019, and we were at a beach house with a bunch of buddies. And what I did is I labeled how this whole thing went down. So Chris Cavanaugh introduces it to me, and then I'm number 2 on that screen. I introduced it to, I don't know if I have a pointer. Yeah? All right. That's yeah, there's my pointer. So Chris is number 1, I'm number 2, Mark Marcy is number 3, and then John Lopresto is number 4, Frank Marone's number 5, Joe O is number 6. Paul Capozio is number 7. One phone call to Mark Marcy. That's what I wanted to illustrate today, because I think it's really important. How does one person have that kind of impact who is literally dismissing me? You know, and that built my 90% of my business was that one phone call, you know, 4+ years later. So, you know, this model is powerful. And we have a hybrid binary with a check match with no line requirements. Vic Talk and I were talking about it, and Vic's 25 years in network marketing. He's going to talk about the comp plan. He said this compensation plan is incredible. You know, it's got great spiff if you just want to build a linear business and sell bottles, you know, and then if you decide you want to build something, you know, like what I was able to build here with that one phone call, and it went right down the line. So I get check match on that whole line. You know, that's the power of the plan. They're not my pay leg. I wish they were my pay leg. But the plan actually compensates when you have a massive line, because you can get, if you have a personal line of sponsorship, you know, so you can earn 15%, 10%, and then 5 levels of 5% of check match on that personal line of sponsorship as a result of that one phone call that, again, he was not interested. And then all of a sudden he became interested because John LaPresso was interested. And we have something wildly special here at New You Life. And, you know, the company, you know, I got my check today. Actually, I haven't sent Alexia thank you yet. I will send him one in a little while. But I had gotten my check, and it just reminded me of the power of this model. At the end of Melanie's conversation, when she was sharing with us, I come from a traditional model. And in order to sustain my business, towards the end of my business, which I ran for 25 years, I had payroll that ran every 2 weeks. And I had just expenses with the building. I had a beautiful commercial building, but I had to heat it, I had to cool it, I had to landscape it, I had to plow the driveway, the parking spaces, had to pay the tax bill, and all this crazy overhead. This business cost me $59. I'm embarrassed to say that to people. Like, what are you talking about? You're a 7-figure earner, you paid $59 for a business? It's like there's a disconnect, you know, and I get it, you know, and network marketing has a reputation where people get dismissive because they don't have all of the facts. You know, they think they have all the facts because they had somebody in their world that did that before and, you know, didn't make any money at it. And so our products are phenomenal. Our leadership is tremendous. You know, our formulator is not out trying to figure out what to bring into this network. It's all in place. You know, we have a pipeline that's just waiting to be introduced elegantly to this network. And it's just a really special place that where we are right now in our evolution. And, you know, but it needs to be deliberate. When you approach somebody about this opportunity and share it with somebody, take the time, you know. And I'm guilty of having brought folks into the business and they're a leaf on my tree and I didn't spend the quality time that they deserved. Because if you bring someone into this business, you have a level of responsibility, you know, to that individual. You know, if you're telling them that there's a real opportunity here and then you abandon them, you know, it puts a stain on the industry because they think, oh, I did that and it didn't work out. And so I appreciate everyone giving me an opportunity, or the leadership here giving me an opportunity to share, you know, what my experience is. But what happened here, so December 15th, 2017, you know, a simple phone call wishing me a happy birthday, and what do you know about HGH, you know, has now, you know, brought this tremendous business opportunity into my world, into my family's world, and I'm just excited to share it with you. And I love the, you know, the commitment here to the field, and there is a real sense of community and a real sense of family. And so, thank you for your time.
K.O. Kenny and I tell you, man. He's Kenny Two Screens. You know what I'm talking about? It's Kenny Two Screens. Hey, so we're going to do a little break, but we just would rather, if you have to take a quick bathroom break, you could do that. We're going to go right into the next segment. But first, I want to give away some more stuff. Yeah. Bring the music down. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Grab your tickets. 206-075. You actually called it out. You willed it. You totally willed it. That was crazy. She called the 5 out. That was really cool. I thought she had some special powers, like it's a 4 and I start shaking. 5. She's just staring at me like this. I'm like, do you remember movie Scanners? Yes, I have that power. It's a 5. So we're going to have Steve come up. Steve Perkins. That's right. He's here from Corp. And our little panel, I think we're going to have Jessica and Liz and Rocco. Rocco, who introduced you. Boy, I'll tell you. What an introduction, let me tell you. I almost cried. I had a little lip quiver. That's all I had. Okay. Thanks for helping out, kid. Do you know this guy? Yes. Give it up for Steve Perkins.
All right. Very cool. I was going to do like a whole introduction. You guys are going to do cartwheels out. Just come sit down. Just come sit down.
Kill the vibe.
Come sit down.
Sorry, Steve.
So, thank you guys. This has been awesome. This has been incredible, right? So what we wanted to do here is we did zero preparation for this, to their dismay.
Hello.
Well, let me do some introductions first. So we've got I'm going to start with you because Jessica I met for the first time today, and she's like, when you introduce me, people call me Rockstar. Jessica Rockstar Thompson.
Love it.
And I love that. And then I'll let her tell you the story as to why she does that, but I don't want to make you guys feel left out. So I think we make up nicknames for these guys as well. Let's do Liz, the Texan Firecracker Hardy.
I'll take it.
Good?
Hey, y'all.
Rocco.
This is
Rocco the Bulldog.
Rock is
I like that.
Or the Rock. The Rock.
Totally makes sense.
You're totally the Rock.
The Rock.
Well, here's what we're going to do. We've talked a lot about this.
Hello.
This blueprint, right, is my thought, is connect, share, invite. That seems to be the theme, right? And this is building the business. New You Life business, I'm gonna give you the great network marketing secret, you guys. I've been doing this 17 years, been in charge of sales teams. You gotta sign people up. That's the great secret. We have all these incredible tools, Gel and Tells, the Power Hour, all those things are tools, things that you can leverage to build your business. But the trick is, you got to talk to people. You got to approach people. You've got to share your story with people. And so what I thought we could do is with this panel is let's just get into it. You guys, all of you, have successful New You Life businesses. You've all done incredible things.
That's fun. Good job, too. Thanks.
We're already dapping up this thing? All right. But let's get into it. Let's just start with connect, right? Connect is all about connecting with people. And I want to maybe just kind of take it in two ways. One, there's new people that are figuring out how to connect with people. And then there's a few people out here that have been doing this a while, and they're going, how do I connect to new people? So Rocco, I'm going to start with you of just...
Sure.
Yeah, you didn't even start in this business. What got you in this business, and how did you start connecting with people to build your New Life business?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Hello. Thank you for having all of us. So I was a New York City police officer and a firefighter. 5 years police, 15 years with fire. And, thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. It was a true calling. However, towards the end of my career, I ended up meeting none other than Paul Capozio, that has been wearing the Rose and Coal shirt for the last month.
That's so funny.
So Paul and I met as total strangers while I was teaching a class, and opened up my eyes and truly bridged the gap of something that I did not know existed in myself, which was that, traditional firefighters or police officers, they don't deal with business or money. He sort of taught me the art of kind of engaging and bridging the gap of the things that I didn't know that I could do.
So firefighter, policeman, obviously, like you said, very little, we'll call it business acumen, right? This idea of like, how did you start approaching people? How did you connect with people?
So I pretty much utilized Facebook Messenger, very much so. I always requested and asked them, may I send you a video? And upon receiving the video and making sure that they did in fact see it, my next question immediately was, what did you like best about the video? It always initiates a positive response, and, well, usually, not always, but usually you'll get a positive response when you get that question. And then, of course, once their answer to that question is essentially their goals, right? So their answer is what I would then utilize to educate them on what the next steps in terms of what else I could teach them about whatever the product, whatever specific video product it was. Initially, of course, it was only the gel.
Yeah. I love that. When we, for years and years and years, we always said this was a belly-to-belly business, right? And the whole idea was listen, they're going to tell you what their needs are. Listen for their problems because likely you have a solution. Facebook Messenger 2022, where the business is today, is no different. Ask open-ended questions, listen, read the answers, and like you said, it'll guide you. Now, you leverage social media as well. I know, in fact, you just took over our social media for was it a week?
Yeah,
We let you do it
felt
for
like
a
a year.
whole week?
It felt like a year. This space right here, I was done by it was about day 5 I was out there, but yeah.
Same question, right? I know that's how you connect with a lot of people. So when you connect with people, how do you do it? What's kind of the Liz Hardy recipe?
So the beautiful thing about this business is I came in here for the gel. It changed my life, and then I just started opening my mouth about it. But I found along the way my desire to help other people share their story with the gel. That's really where my passion is, because I think that's something that God gave me from the beginning of this journey, is that I wrote down from my first experience, from the first week, from my first use, the first month 3. I never have stopped documenting what the gel has done in my life. So this is something I can share genuinely with other people, take them on the journey. This isn't something that's stopping. It's not a before and after. It's a before and now, and I'm not done, right? So that's the thing for me, is connecting on social media is about telling my story and helping others tell their story. There's a couple, maybe 100 people or more in here that have a unique story that's gonna reach somebody, and that to me is the power of New Life. And I read, I think it was Susie Bafford posted the other day, that network marketing is a personal development or a personal growth program with a compensation plan. And that hit me right between the eyes, because that's what this company has done for me. That's what this experience has done for me is, there's days where, if you've been in this for a minute, we're not always feeling it. I'm not always in the mood, and I've got a system in place that New Life has given me to continue to do the simple things that help keep bringing people in. And for me, I don't overcomplicate it. It's always been about telling my story and connecting with others and then people coming to me and asking me. And that happens over time where somebody wants to know what's helping you feel better. Everybody wants to feel better, This is not a superficial thing. This is like what is going to bring you joy into your life. And that's what the gel and this whole opportunity has done for me. So I share it on social media, and I try to help others do that. That's what's worked best for me.
Yeah, just duplication, right? It's
Right.
Teach them to do what you do. Jessica, I'm going to do a couple questions for you because we talked about this earlier, so put you on the spot a little, but she said you're not always in the mood. So I want you not only to talk about how you connect with others, but I know mindset is really important to you. And how do you get in the right mindset before you go connect with others?
Thank you. So glad we had that conversation earlier. Thank you for having me up here too. It's a huge honor because I still feel so new like just getting started, but like family.
Right.
So I want to make sure that it means so much. So I'm really excited to be here. Also, what you said, I'm sorry to go back, but like, you've been in the people business forever. You have a heart of service. So just because you didn't have the business side, you were already winning with the people. So I wanted to make sure I say that because I was like, oh, he's all people though, like saving people, literally.
Right.
Wait, what was the
I
question?
used to live with 14 other men. We all had the same bedroom, well, if you want to call it that. Bunk room.
Help me. I'm not a people person. No. Clearly you're a people person when you do that. So the question was a little bit about mindset. Is when she said, you're not always in the mood. How do you get yourself in the mindset? And then when you're in that correct mindset, how do you go connect with people?
Okay, so you also mentioned that I go by Rockstar. And I kind of feel like I need to start there because my name is Jessica, and there are like a bajillion. I'm sitting next to the winner, Jessica, right there.
Double winner.
Yeah, Jessica, 2 times so. But I was in a previous company, and there were like hundreds of thousands of consultants. And I was like, why is somebody gonna buy from me? And I was just another Jessica consultant, and I know I'm awesome, but how did I get it to them? So I started thinking, like, what makes me different? Then I got into the mindset and affirmations, and for me, I love stars. I always like to find the light in the darkness. And so that also relates to the struggles that we go through daily. I wear them because I'm not always feeling light and happy and cheery. I just think that's life. But the rock star portion, to me, it's not Ozzy Osbourne or Van Halen. It is somebody that goes above and beyond, or is like, I strive to be better. Like, oh, look at that rock star. You know they're doing well. If somebody calls somebody else a rock star, you're not like, okay, they're poo. They're not awesome. Like, I want to hang out with rock stars, I guess. So anyways, I wanted to separate myself, and I started branding myself that way over a year. And I'm very authentic. Almost to a fault. I don't hold back much.
There's no such thing.
Transparency right here, but because I found what I am to the core, I was able to put that out. And that is literally what everybody talks about with the company and the business. And going forward with the struggles that I go through daily, I just try to do better than I did yesterday and like get through the day, right? Like if I know better, I should do better. I should do better. I want to do better. And I think that all of this and the company and the products, what we're doing, we're literally helping people life better. And when people ask me what I do, because of all the things, I help you life better. Because what can you do when you feel good? Anything.
Anything.
Did you write that down? Same thing you can do when you have money. What can you do when you have money? Anything you want.
Anything you want.
Anything you want. So it goes to mindset, and I might not have 100% to give, but if I have a little bit, it's more than I would have if I just said no. So I go that way. And then, do you want me to answer a question about how I connect?
Yes.
So I've been transparent for a long time. People, if they have a question and they want a true answer, I try to deliver with grace and love, to the best of my ability, but I am authentic, and so I don't lie. I find a way to say it nicely, even if it's gonna sting. I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's just how I am. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. That's how I am. But with connection, honesty, right? We're being honest. Tell the truth up here, Jessica. I'm big into social media and building people up. And so collaboration is what I strive for every day. I'm a competitive person, but it's not in like a jerky kind of way. It's a like, haha, I won. What did I win? I would have run up here for a Tic Tac when he was calling things just because of the energy and the excitement. I love it. And so I bring that. And the way that I connect with other people is by being authentic and showing up. So we get a lot of feedback on sharing every aspect of your life on social media. I have posts that if you go back through where I made fun of people for sharing their food pictures. Because I can't eat it. I don't want to see it. I don't care what your food looks like. I share those pictures now because I'm excited. And
Did you say food or foot?
food.
Oh, foot. Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Because I thought you said foot, but okay. Feet pictures. Yeah.
Food. Let's stay on track, Rocco. Food. Food.
Different site, bro.
I also have a backwoods West Virginia accent. Food. But I think if you show up and you show people how you're living, like my husband gave me one of the best compliments of my life so far. And I was like, why are they asking you questions? Why do they want my business? And he was like, you make living look like fun. And people want that. And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm good. I want to help people life better. And getting paid to help people feel better feels like I'm cheating somehow, but also winning, if that makes sense. So we're helping people feel better and fix problems they don't even know they have sometimes, like inside out, right? And I just show up. And I show them how I'm lifing. So if I'm telling you to work out, move your body, I got to be doing it, or I'm not authentic. And it hurts me to not be authentic. Like, will keep me up.
I love that. And the cool thing is, I ask you all three the same question, right? All three very different personalities, all three very different backgrounds, but they all essentially said the same. Did anyone talk about sales techniques? Did anyone talk about you have to follow this script? No. They connected with people by what? Being themselves, being authentic to who they are. People are attracted to that. Love that. Love that. All right, now let's kind of move on. Now that you connect to people through engaging with them, listening, being authentic, and let them be attracted to you. Now we kind of move to this share, right? And so I'll jump to the next question, Rocco. What tools are you leveraging, whether New You Life or your own personal tools, videos, what tools are you leveraging to help build your New Life business?
So I try and find like new and unique ways and new social media apps that you can sort of tweak a little bit and sort of reach a different audience, right? We all have, for the most part, we all have Facebook. And I've recently found TikTok, right? TikTok is a new, very exciting app that is just a great way to sort of deliver your message. I have also found that delivering a message via voice on Instagram is a great way to just go from point A to point B, start the conversation, right? Where there's conversation, there's commerce. And as the conversation continues forward, continues going, it doesn't have to stop. You can just pivot. Maybe there's a question that they need answered. Maybe there's something that they need to be educated on. And basically what I've been doing is I've just continually, genuinely built virtual friendships with complete strangers that have become my friends. There's no doubt about it, right, Paul? I mean, these people, they've just become my friends. So, and anybody that's watching on the live stream, I wanted to plead with them that if they've been with the company for quite some time, is to reach out to that person, that has maybe been in the company for a long time, and tell them about our new products. There's actually people out there that have been with the company, maybe disconnected for a little bit, a while, and it's a great idea to just inform and educate them on the new things that we have, and guess what? There's going to be new things on the horizon. So it's just a wonderful thing to continue that. So that's all I got. I can't follow up her. She was amazing, by the way.
That was amazing.
You were great. You were great.
Thank you.
This same question, right? What tools, what things are you driving people to, or what are you leveraging to help plug people in or build your business?
I would love to give you a new sexy answer. I really would, but it's not anything you haven't heard. It's the same thing I've been doing for the last 3.5 years, which would be, I use a 90-10 rule, which is on my Facebook, social media, I'm doing my life 90% of the time. I'm doing once a week, basically. For me, this is what works best for me. Some genuine, authentic post about how the gel's changed my life, what MLT is doing for my family. This is not, and then also sharing friends what their experiences have been with our products. And the excitement of life change, right? So I've continuously done that, have done it for years. Also in stories on Instagram and Facebook, that's a really good way to get engagement that's not like plastering your own page as a billboard. So I really highly encourage you. I'll do things in stories that I wouldn't necessarily do on my Facebook page because I want, when I'm friending people, them to come to my page and not automatically, count me out as a friend because they see I'm like a walking billboard for New Life, right? Couldn't love the product more, the gel, couldn't love the company more, but that's not what I want to be known as. I want to be known as somebody who, oh, cool. I want to invite them into the experience, what this has done for me, and I don't want them to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and that's what happens when we plaster our walls with just products. So I'm going to share on, stories. I'm going to invite them in. I'm going to do polls, and then I'm going to get them engaged in conversation. I'm not going to attack anybody. I hate to be attacked by Messenger. I really don't want to have conversations with strangers for a very long time. It's awkward. It's weird. I get to the point. That's, my dad used to say that's like a good quality to have. Just get straight to it. Hey, they voted on my poll. I'm going to invite them immediately to our testimonials page, whatever product that I've, presented that they've interacted it on. I'm going to get them invited to the page. I'm going to make sure they have the link to the page so they can get their easy access. I want to make this as easy as possible. I keep it in the notes section of my phone, the links to our testimonials pages. Those are my go-tos. That's what I do every single day. This is not a complicated or new system. And I'll get them in the page, make sure they've accepted the invite. I'm going to tag them on my posts that I've done in there. And if you haven't done a testimonial page for the gel or for the drink, please do it. Like, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping all of us. And we all do better when we all do better. But we can't do this alone. Nobody needs to hear about me all the time. I want to hear about you. I want to hear about your personal experience. I want to have somebody connect to you as well. So I get them in there and then I follow up, right? Hey, did you take a look around on the page? I get them the information. I send a link through. The app is genius. Guys, I'll be the first to admit, there were months when they presented it, I was like, that's $5 a month. I know, I sound so cheap. I was like, I'm not doing that. I got a system. We're good.
It's $4.99.
Yeah, I know. So, yes, there you go. I was like, I'm not doing it. I've got a system. This works. I don't need to do the app. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so glad I did the app. It is literally game-changing. I can see if they've watched the video, how serious they are, if they've watched it, how long. I know when to follow up. I know questions to ask. I can send them some more information if they're interested. And then it sends you the follow-up. Hey, in a couple of days, it says, it reminds me, hey, this is who you talked to. I need that. I'm a busy mom of 3. So the app has been game-changing too. And I want to kind of remind you guys, there have been probably hundreds and hundreds of people I have talked to along the way. The most important thing I've done for my New Life business is get people in the testimonials page it's constantly dripping on them, okay? Maybe it wasn't a good time right now, but it's going to maybe be in a couple months. They'll see those new testimonies and then it'll be time they'll reach out. And then follow up. Follow up. If the conversation got weird, if it's dead in the water, hey, I'm not sure if you saw my last message, I know life's busy, just wanted to check and see, did you take a look at the video or did you take a look at the page? This is not a complicated system, it's just being human, just have a conversation. But when you do that, that's when magic has happened and it's not changed over the years for me. That's continuously what I've done.
No, that's exactly what I wanted you to share, right? It's not this new idea or this newfangled, it boils down to driving this business exactly like you said. It's reaching out to people, genuinely connecting and following up. And that follow-up, I'm going to touch on that tomorrow a little bit, but that's one where so many people think they just stop. I'm going to put myself out on a limb a little bit. And for those at home, you can play too. Who said yes the very, very first time they heard about the gel? All right, this backfired a little bit, guys. But
I'll say yes once to anything.
You guys are the old timers. You don't count, right? You guys are, but honestly, probably about 50% of the people raise their hand. Well, that's actually pretty good because the product and the pitch is that intriguing that you're going to pick up people. But the other 50% that didn't raise their hand just had to learn a little bit more, about the ideas, or maybe they needed to get a question answered. That's okay. But this idea, like you said, just to give up because they immediately said no. I've met thousands of people in this industry that it took months, maybe even years to come around, and it's always just where they're at in their own personal life, what timing is, what their health is, what their situation is, and it can change just like that. Mm-hmm. You just have to stick with it. Jessica, same question for you. What tools are you leveraging to help build your business? What?
Liz didn't really leave me much to go off of. So, yeah, I mean, it works, obviously.
yeah.
Like, I do what she does.
Done.
From somebody else. It wasn't you.
Right? It's not, I mean, if you've seen Danielle at all, like, it's social selling, right? And so that's where I went when I first started. I watched all of them, the Ninja, social selling, and then everything I could. I plugged in everything. But so Jordan said, he gave me, like, I feel like I tell all my new people this too, the best piece of advice was, it's $5, but I promise you, if you want me to send you the file, like whatever, get it on the app. The day I signed up, and I was like, really? And I do a lot of things and deal with a lot of different tech and a lot of different software, you know, real estate stuff and different direct sales. So when I saw our tech from the app, I was like, wow, is this really this easy? And then I got on the dashboard, and I'm like, wow. So that's super impressive about the company, just woohoo there, because it's so easy to work from the toilet if you want to. Like, people don't want to talk about it. Y'all take your phones in there. It's gross. Wipe it off. Like, when you get back to the room, everybody's handing out Lysol wipes. That's a reminder for myself as well. But so you can literally work from anywhere. So the app is, I get Game Chamber. Plus, you get to be super nosy. Like, if Liz ask, like, will you watch the video? Yes, and you don't, and I took the time to send you the video, and you don't have the time to watch the video that you made me send to you? Come on. Don't waste my time, don't waste yours. Yeah, how serious, sorry. But so that's, again, authenticity, right? Like, don't waste my time. I also don't want to waste yours. But I use the app, I do social media, and so I've been very lucky because I've been working, I've lost over 100 pounds. And I've kept it off. Yes, back in 2012. So, thank you. So, I've been working on myself for a long time, and it started with mindset. You know, we can go forward with that, but I have tried everything under the sun short of drugs. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, an appetite suppressant, something to fill me up, something to give me energy. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to have to take a downer because I'm up. All of the cleanses and the detox and the steps 1 through 172 to get to where you want to be. And so I want simple, and other people want simple. And I found it, and they've seen me. They saw me at my heaviest. Now they see me now, and like I'm a work in progress, right? I'm always trying to, if you know better, do better, and I live it. And so I've been lucky because they've come to me from seeing it. Like, hey, what's this MLT you're posting about? What's this? But I do the stories. I do all of the social media platforms. If I had an advice to anybody, I would say pick 2 and focus on them. You don't have to do all of the things, but pick 2. If it doesn't align with who you are, then do something else. Ken, where's Ken, told me today he doesn't love social media. And I said, okay, where's your vision? How he's okay, successful, right? Like the commas and I did the math too. And I was like, hey, cool. He's successful. He does what works for him. And I would say that to anybody else. Like, you don't need to do what I do or what she does. Maybe a little bit of it, but make it your own recipe, customize it. And I think that's really important because we want to do what everybody else does to get where they are, but we have our own journey. So I use the app, I use social media, I do Messenger and things like that. And then now, because of the blueprint, so I reset every 6 months, and I'll go through my list of people, you know, your hairdresser and your dentist and the teacher and whoever, your people, warm market, cold market. Well, I revisit it. And then I think about, okay, now I'm getting specific, and I'm like, who has been complaining on Facebook about not sleeping? They need to know, right? Who is talking about hormone imbalance? So that's how I work, and so I follow up with people because I'm following the systems that you guys lay out. And then if you're making the comments every day or adding what Melanie said too, adding the people, if you're doing the things and you're being authentic, you get to know the people. So it becomes a relationship, whether you're doing it authentically or not originally. And then it's like, hey, Rocco, I saw that you said you only got 2 hours of sleep last night. Would you like them to be restorative 2 hours? Because I can help you with that. Or would you like to get more?
Restored.
Cool. Let's chat after. But so that's it. It's that easy. It's not a reinventing the wheel, or it's following the system and customizing it to what works for me. Again, being authentic, how it aligns with you and what you can do to work your business. You want to be relatable too. Like, don't come for my people, come for your people.
I love that. Listen, if you didn't take notes, if you don't have a page full of notes based on this, rewatch the recording, do whatever you have to do. This is gold. These are people that are building their business on a daily basis. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
and
you.
that's our, it goes quick. So we're good.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Can we give our mics back?
Everybody to the tiki bar.
To the tiki bar.
Give me your mic. You're great, you're great. I know.
I need the other one.
All righty. Okay, coming up to the stage, our next presenter is an industry leader. This guy's a master trainer. He's an incredibly impeccably dressed human being, okay? He likes to get dressed up to the nines. And I'm blessed to actually have him on my team. Super awesome to have him. Please put your hands together for Darren Burks, baby.
That was awesome. You were
How we doing? I'm a little loud up here, huh? Can we take that down a tiny bit? How we feeling this afternoon? We good? We good? So my name is Darren Burks. I am a newcomer to the company, and I'm excited to be able to share with you guys. And before I forget, corporate lawyers asked me to say they don't endorse anything I'm about to say. I'm just kidding. I don't answer calls from lawyers. But I have spent the last 15 years of my life being an entrepreneur. Quick backstory about me: I lost my mom to cancer when I was young, my father shortly after that, and I found myself homeless in my early 20s. From that point on, I thought outside the box, and it took me down the road of an entrepreneur. But those who have worked close with me can tell you that I'm a little unorthodox about the way I see things. I'm an unofficial scholar, meaning I didn't go to college, on human behavior and psychology. I absolutely love human behavior and psychology, and I truly believe that it should be taught in grade schools. I think communication, human behavior, and psychology, if you understand it, you have better relationships, better love life, better work relationship, all of it, right? So, with that being said, I'm going to go into my ideology behind branding, okay? Might get a little uncomfortable. That's just tend to be how I am. I like to think outside the box. I like to throw ideas out there that might get people to have to rethink how they go about everything they do. But that's fun, right? That always makes it fun. So let me grab my clicker here. So, when you guys see this, what do you think? Apple. Some of you guys just cringed, right? Some of you guys like, Apple. We know those are the ones that have the green text. Now, raise your hand if you have an Apple. Okay, I like a lot of people in this room. Now, tell me how you feel when you see a green text come through. Feel like, oh, that's not my kind, right? That's not, we know, we don't have to be all serious about it. We know there's a huge war between Android and Apple. Why is that? Why is it such, I know damn well that Apple does not make good products. They rip us off. They make things break before the new iPhone. I know it. I'll still always buy an Apple. I don't really know why. I'm just attached to that brand. Do you know what I'm saying? And Android, you guys, you can tell us you'll never touch an Apple. You look at us like, what are you guys doing, right? How about this? Any guys in here ride a bike, right? I'm a Harley rider. I love my bike. Do you realize that that's a company, right? A corporate company, Harley Davidson. We do realize that people get that tattooed on them. That's like having Gerber baby tattooed on you, right? That's a corporation that people are paying to put on their skin. Why? Because it stands for something. It stands for more than just a bike. It stands for freedom. It stands for being rough and raw, being an individual, right? How about this? Ladies? Gucci, right? That people will literally not eat for weeks to be able to have that on their belt. right? To get me wrong, you know, husbands that have to buy the Gucci bag, you know, it's like 2 months worth of work to get to that. Why? Because it stands for something. Branding is important in business and in life. You have to think, what are you branded as? How is your business branded? How are you as an individual branded? Because that's important, and that's something we don't think. I love our industry, but I also hate it. This is where things get uncomfortable. I have a love-hate for this industry because it is so powerful, and I honestly think it's the smartest business model for both the corporate side and for the distributor side that's ever been created. However, for 70 years, people come into it very passively and pick up bad habits that have been carried on for decades. Can we agree with that? So can we talk about the hard truth of the industry? Can we be real for a second? This is where some people that have been in the industry for a long time will be like, oh, what's this kid about to say? But how many of you have had, oh my God, it's one of those pyramid things said to you? Raise your hand. I want to see your hands. Everybody, right? Has anybody ever been made fun of because of being in this industry? Raise your hand. Has anybody got upset personally because one of your close friends that loves you and that you love makes fun of you or says something negative to you because of what you do? We need to stop that. We need to stop that from happening. But in order to do that, we need to recognize what has given the brand of network marketing the bad name in the first place. Does that make sense? And so often it's from people not realizing that they themselves are a brand and they're upholding bad habits in the industry. The question is, it's been happening for 7 years. Is it possible to change? Now, there's a lot of young faces in the crowd, but I'm going to ask you, and you guys at home too, anybody remember the early 2000s? Imagine if I came to you and I was a friend, I was like, hey, listen, I'm looking for a date. I'm thinking about joining Match.com in 2002. What would you say to me? Like, what are you nuts? Creepy Charlie and Stalker Sally on the interweb? Like, are you out of your mind? Right? It's an absolute vile industry that most people would not even want to be on, never mind invest in. Does that make sense? What about today? Almost everybody that's single, and some people who aren't, are on online dating. Is that true? Yes or yes? So what does that tell us? That tells us that an industry that once had a terrible reputation in all of society can change. We are Tinder. Not really, we're not swiping app. But what Tinder did for the industry of online dating was present the same idea in a sexy new way. Does that make sense? And so that's what I want us to do. And I'm not just talking about our company, I'm talking about us as professionals in a professional industry. We need to stop with some of the things that bring on the bad heat to our industry, because I did it. I've been in the industry for 7 years. And I started just like everybody else. I came in, a good friend of mine showed me a paycheck for $189,000 and made it 1 month. November of 2015. And this was a friend of mine that was not the sharpest tool in the shed. And I'm just being real. He hears me tell the story all the time, so that's all right. I got his blessing. But I jumped in. I'm like, okay, well, whatever he's doing is working, right? And I had success. I built a six-figure income within my first 3 months in that company, not knowing anything. And I did a lot of things wrong, but thank God I did enough of it. So there's a keynote for yourself, that as long as you do enough of something, you will succeed. However, what I realized is I had success, but how many dead bodies were left in the wake because of bad habits that were taught down from corporation to corporation? You guys that have been in the industry for a little while, you guys can probably see someone's post or read two lines out of someone's message, network marketing, right? That's bad. If someone can tell exactly what you're about to say or even get to a close assumption of it, but based off of a quick post or based off of a couple sentences, we're doing something wrong. So what I want to do is get us to think outside the box. So there's a thing in psychology called word association. There's been a lot of studies on it, right? If I say jungle, you guys have something pop in your head, right? If I say palm trees, you guys have an image pop in your head. It's just natural. Our subconscious does it. Why in the world do we still say the word MLM? Why in the world do we still say I'm in network marketing? Even though you can be proud of the industry we're in, but don't you realize that immediately they're now making assumptions? Because unless someone's been hiding under a rock, they know and associate network marketing and MLM to what? Pyramid, right? And we all know that they're wrong because every company in the world is a pyramid, and not every company can you make more money than the person above you. But if we're trying to educate somebody, is it safe to say that it's easier to educate someone that's listening versus educating someone that immediately when you open your mouth, they're going to have a negative thought and you're battling uphill? Yes or yes? So what I like to do, and these are words I came up with, so if you see any other company using, it comes from me. Just kidding. I say digital distribution. People are like, what do you do? I'm in digital distribution. Is that accurate to what we do? We distribute products digitally, right? I'm in peer-to-peer network. A peer-to-peer network, a peer-to-peer digital distribution network, right? Why do I use these words when I could easily just say MLM? Because when I say these things, people go, huh, what's that? We want them to say, huh, what's that? Why? Because that gives us an opportunity to educate. Does that make sense? I want to educate. I want people to be curious. I want people to understand what we have here. This is so life-changing. This is so powerful to the average person. I've watched people come into this industry with nothing and not forget the money, because the money's amazing. You guys know, especially with this comp plan. But I've seen people find purpose. I've seen people find meaning to who they are even outside of the industry because they got confidence from inside the industry. I met my two best friends ever in this industry. I met the love of my life back there, who you guys heard from earlier, in this industry. Thank God for recruiting. Get out to recruit, you'll find the love of your life. That's what happens, right? Can we have another round of applause for Ms. Marie Aspling? And the last part I use is I say I profit share distribution. Where do I go with this? Now, pay close attention. Any realtors in the room? I know Ken, Kelly, Patrick. Okay, I was in real estate. I was in real estate in the early 2000s. I hung my license with a company called Keller Williams, okay? KW, #1 brokerage in the world for a very, very long time. Why? Because Gary Keller was the very first brokerage to offer profit share. So if I was a realtor for Keller Williams and I would bring over my friend Dave to be a realtor at Keller Williams, he sells a house, I get paid too, because I helped the company bring in new business. Does that make sense? Right? eXp Realty is a new brokerage that popped up about 5 years ago. They jumped to #6 brokerage in the entire world. Why? They now offer unlimited levels of profit share, where if I bring Dave to eXp as a realtor, and Dave brings Susie to eXp Realty, and Susie sells a house, the company recognizes without me bringing Dave and without Dave bringing Susie, they wouldn't have business. Do you know that eXp is listed in the direct selling ranking business? It's right next to us. So when I go down, hey, profit share distribution, that's what I do. Well, what's that? Well, you know companies like Keller Williams and eXp Realty, have you ever heard of them? Well, yeah. Well, they have profit share where they help people, or they compensate people when they either directly or indirectly help the company grow and profit. Does that make sense? I'm like, it's the fairest thing in capitalism. How many times have you seen somebody on Facebook, hey, my company's hiring, do you think that person's getting paid for that? No. When I go down this rabbit hole of how I explain this, I tell you, I never get the pyramid thing. Because it just doesn't come up, because I'm not presenting it in the same way that people have done for 70 years. It's a fresh look. And that's exactly what our industry needs, is a fresh look. Because there's no better time to be in your seats right now. I'm telling you this with chills, goosebumps. Because right now, post-pandemic, we have everybody looking for digital income. Everybody. It's as ripe for the time to take over and change an industry, and there's no better company to do it than New You Life. I promise you that. I promise you that. Like, I am a nerd, glasses nerd, complete nerd when it comes to business. When I first joined this industry, I said, I don't want to be a part of the industry. I want to be the best in the industry. I want to be a professional in the industry. And if you guys don't think like that, we got to start shifting our mindset. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So whatever I do, I can go hula hoop dancing. And I'm like, I'm going to be the best hula hoop dancer ever. I am going to be the most professional one ever. I'm going to find out everything I can through YouTube of how to do that. That's what I did about this industry. In the process, I've gone through hundreds of companies. I know most compensation plans better than the people in those companies. It's another problem about this industry is most people aren't educated about their own company, never mind other companies. You think Walmart knows what Amazon's doing, and Amazon knows what Walmart's doing? It's called market research. You should know what's going on in the industry. If you want this to pay you like $1 million business, you have to act like $1 million CEO. You have to hold yourself to that standard. So I say this because I mean it. When I say this is my first New You Life event, and again, I'm privileged to be asked to speak, probably scared them a little bit how I started. They're like, what's this guy going to say? But this is beyond exciting. Because when I tell you 12 months from now, we're going to have to knock down all these walls to put 15,000 people in an event hall, that's what's going to happen. Does that make sense? I want to hear you guys get excited about what we got going on here. Because this is what we have. And I hope that you guys take something away from this and at least get you to start thinking outside the box. Because the last part of this is I want you to take action with awareness. Now that you're thinking as a branded marketer, what are your actions? You need to staff your organization. One of the things to remember about this industry, and it's never talked about, not everybody has to do the same thing. And this kind of goes against the cardinal rule of how companies like to set up back in the 50s and 60s of how carbon copy, everybody does the same thing, but that's one of the things that gave this industry a bad look. And it's one of the things that most people feel uncomfortable going into. Because I'll tell you, I wouldn't join a company if I had to become a carbon copy of everybody and all of a sudden turn my Facebook into some kind of marketing tool where I'm posting product after product after product. My friends on Wall Street, my friends that are lawyers, we're missing out on very good, qualified people with amazing networks because of the things that we do. And not even the things that we do, but the things we force on others. So when I start a business, when I started launching here again, and I was putting together my organization, I'm like, I need two kinds of people. I need customer getters, and I need business builders. And they're not necessarily the same person. There are some people in my business, like when I found Miss Marie, I was headhunting someone that was a product guru. I was headhunting someone that already talks about products on their Facebook. Why? Because it's a natural transition for them to be able to start talking about products. It's not going to come out of left field. Now, if my buddy that I ride Harleys with, that has been a plumber for 15 years, drinks beer and is in his profile picture funneling out of a boot, all of a sudden starts talking about a gel that's changing lives, a little out there, right? It's going to completely dilute what we're doing. But my buddy that's a plumber is highly respected in the trade world. He has a lot of contacts of great people that could lead us to other business builders and customer getters. Does that make sense? So, if you yourself are a customer getter, and again, this is where self-awareness comes into play. You want to know, hey, what am I known for? Or what do I want to be known for? Because you can change it. You can become whatever you want to become, but you have to go into it strategically, pragmatically, okay? If you're a customer getter and you want to do direct referrals, you want to, hey, every one of us can say, hey, I know someone that doesn't sleep that well. Let me shoot them a direct message, say, hey, listen, I want to make a referral. I want to just be able to show you something that could help you sleep and hook you up with someone that can talk about it. I can't explain it. I'm brand new. That's perfectly fine. Direct referral. But if you want to start posting, and I'm sure there's going to be, I think Liz is doing the social media training. She's going to do an amazing job tomorrow training on social media. But my ideology behind social media is if you are talking about products publicly, don't just talk about New You Life. Become an influencer. If that's the role you want to play, recommend a toaster too. You know, like if you're going out for coffee, shout out the coffee company. First of all, it's just good to be a good person and shout out small businesses, right? Now, I love shouting outs. I give referrals all the time to people I never get money from. So if you want to be a influencer, so to speak, and that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be Kim Kardashian, it just means that you're influencing and showing people different products, don't brand yourself to a company, no offense, company. Brand yourself as someone that's just looking to give out referrals. It comes off way more authentic because it is more authentic. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Perfect. Now, if you want to be a business builder, or if that is you, if you're someone that is like me, like you look at my social media, I don't talk about products. I talk about business and politics and probably a lot of stuff I shouldn't. And then I refer people because they understand that I am just connected. I'm well connected with people. If that's you, stick with your direct referrals. Obviously, think of people you know. I can't tell you how much power it is to speak to someone individually versus trying to Hail Mary it and throw a post up, right? There's very few people that have ever built their way to the top of a comp plan by just throwing out Hail Mary posts. Hey, comments, I want info if you want to hear about what I'm doing. It's not that effective. Here's a different thing you can do though. Be a thought leader. Just like how people like Marie posts about holistic health and posts about fitness and posts about other things that work in our category, if you were a business builder, post about ideas, post about business in general, post about extra digital income, post about other investments you might be in, and stop building yourself as someone that is a thought leader, is someone that is just up on current times, that's clearly doing their homework on what's important in business, so that you then become, in their mind, branded as someone that knows what they're talking about when it comes to business. Does that make sense? Here's the last part of it. If you are somebody that, and I was there, I've made a lot of questionable life decisions over my years. There was a time that I was not known as an entrepreneur. There was a time I was not known as a business builder, right? There was a time that I was not known to wear a suit too small for me, so I can't really move around. There's a time before. You can rebrand yourself no matter what your age is to whatever you want to be. You just need to be patient. You need to work aggressively hard and fast and have extreme patience. That might sound contradictory, but I promise you it works together. Does that make sense? So keep this in mind when you're putting together your organization. And keep the references and the analogies. My friends and my teammates call me the analogy king because analogies just make things relatable to whoever you're talking about. So when you start bringing up Keller Williams or eXp Realty, it's just going to be more relatable for them. And build your organization in mind that not everybody's going to play the same role. Try to find, because you need both. You can't just have business builders and you can't just have customer getters. You need to have both. So if you go about it in such a way that you're not going to turn off one side or the other. That's the problem, is people will go heavy because they're a customer getter, and they'll turn off business builders because the second they see their social media, like, I'm not doing that. Because can we agree people don't say no to extra money, they say no to what you have to do if they say yes. Right? So we have to keep that in mind and go about our actions strategically. So I hope that you guys really, really, really help us bring not just New Life, but this industry to the people that really need it. That need it more than ever, that have lost everything over the pandemic and over the shutdowns and all of that nonsense, because people need help. This room needs to grow significantly, and I'm excited to do it with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, give me the clicker. He crushed it. And he's going to tell me where he gets his suits after this, so that's cool too. All right, we got something special for you. Someone wants to come in from a video feed and say what's up. Do we have this queued up? Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Look at him. Let's see if he's going to pop in and say hello.
Hello, everybody. For those of you I haven't met yet, my name is Bruce Leviton, and I think everybody knows our good friend Alexi Goldstein here. And Alexi, the purpose of today is really to, for this piece of it anyways, to take people through New Life. And, from the very beginning, it started out with the HGH gel. And why the HGH gel? Where'd that come from?
I mean, first of all, I want to say hello to everybody. I want to apologize for not being there in person. And I want to let them know that we're doing this especially for them. And I have the best MC in the world right here because Steve couldn't be here because he's actually with you guys. So I'm super excited about this, and you're going to hear a little bit from us today. So what's so special about the HGH gel? It's one of a kind. It's a hero product. It's actually changed millions of lives in the last 20 years. Something that's not new, something that's proven itself, something that has unbelievable quality, control, and hundreds of thousands of stories.
So you took the gel into, not so much about the gel, but really into the network marketing space. What made you take it into network marketing?
Great question. What made me dedicated to this industry so much is I discovered that I can actually, instead of sharing with one person at a time and changing one person's life at a time, which is what I used to do in the 15 years before New Life, one call, one share can actually move and change 500,000 lives at once. People actually share. What's even better than this is actually rewarding people for sharing. It's even better. So those two things is the winning formula. And this product is about sharing. So it couldn't be any better.
I think next month, the month after, is going to be my 4-year anniversary with you.
Nice.
And I remember the days, you talk about your store and the Saturdays that you were in your store talking to customers one at a time. And I don't know that this group really understands what you get out of talking to people about our products. Tell them about you and why you do that and how you do it.
Yeah, so I was actually studying architecture in school, 30 years ago? And I get a phone call from my father, come run the little shop that I bought in Northern California, Pleasant Hill specifically, directly across the street. And I did, and I didn't know what to do, except that when people started asking me questions, at first I felt stupid because I couldn't answer any questions about the industry. So I started studying it to learn about the top things that are being requested of me. And back then there was no Google, and it wasn't that easy. So I actually had to do the studying and research. And the biggest surprise, the biggest gift, the biggest reward was when I actually communicated with people and was actually able to answer their questions. Better yet, when they actually came back and they told me that I was able to improve their lifestyle and improve their health and their family's health. And until today, there's never been any reward that comes close to that. So that's what launched me in a different direction and made me commit completely to this industry.
But even today, here we are, 4+ years into the company, when you hear that testimonial, when you hear how it's helped somebody, what's it do to you?
Everything. I don't want anything but testimonials all day long. So I hope all these people know that. I learned a lot about this industry over 30 years, and I learned about how confusing it is and the quality and the controls. And I wanted to make sure my job is to eliminate the confusion for people and make sure to deliver products that are uncompromised, right? With quality first and something that's not controlled by price, because this is our health and you don't compromise with your health.
So when we look at New Life and we go back to the very beginning, it would have been really easy to compromise product quality to get more product, especially in our early days. You wouldn't do that. Why?
I learned over the years I believe in the mid-90s, there's a huge article about some of the actual big companies, you can still find it online, probably Costco, Walmart, Kmart, Target. Their actual supplements had houseplants, and they still have issues until today. They had an issue with their fish oil actually only having 30% of what it claims on the bottle. And this is a serious situation where we actually invest in our health, and we teach people about what to do, and then they depend on us. They trust us with their hard work, money, one, with their health, even more importantly. So I feel I'm obligated to deliver the best that I can all of the time. So the quality is very important to get the best of the best. What I learned that you can buy garlic for $100 a pound, you can buy garlic extra for $1,000 a pound. Which one do you buy? You know, if you're in sales, you can buy the $100 a pound one. You put it on the label, you sell the product, you make a lot of money on it. You get the $1,000 a pound one, and you actually have a serious amount of allicin, which is an active ingredient in there, and then the product will be a lot more effective for the heart, for cholesterol. That's one example of the difference between garlic powder and garlic extract, and a lot of people don't know that, but I believe it's our responsibility, it's my job, to make sure I deliver something for them that actually is effective and changes their lives.
So let's change tracks a little bit. Let's talk about our current business. I say to people all the time, the business is kind of guided from your heart and who you are and your values of who you are as a person. What makes New Life different than other network marketing companies out there?
New Life is a family. Happy, proud, goes through everything together, overcome any kind of obstacle together. New Life is a mission. New Life is a story. New Life is our life. New Life is about every single person that's part of this family. New Life will become global. New Life will change lives all over the planet. New Life has changed lives all over the planet. New Life is here for you, and you're here for New Life.
And one of the unique things that I think we have is probably, for me, the best way I could phrase it is our transparency, our relationship with our field leaders, right? Talk about our field leaders.
I can't talk enough about these people. I was inspired initially when I met them before launch, I believe, or maybe right at launch, launching the company over 4 years ago. And it just gave me a different energy and a different feel. What I learned from the class and the commitment of these people, the ethics and how hard they work, and the selflessness and what they give back, what they teach, honestly, the opportunity they create and they pass on for people after them as well. I can't, there's not enough words that describe it. People pay for knowledge like this, right? And you have leaders that rise and they actually share their stories of how they became with families and friends all over the world, right? Starting from the U.S. and going country by country. So I can't say how proud I am. It's just not a good enough phrase. And I'm glad that we are one family and we're committed to each other. And we're on the same page, and our mission is to keep continuing to change lives and create more leaders and inspire more people using these unbelievable leaders that we have here.
Yeah, I really think one of the pillars of strength we have is this relationship we have with our leaders that are out there. And we've had it from day one. They've went through the ups and downs, trials and tribulations. I say it would be easy for them to run back in those days, but they stayed with us. And I think that's what's helped concrete the future for New Life. So when you look at New Life 5 years from today, 10 years from today, 15 years from today, what do you see?
I see the company being a lot more global. I see the family at home in the U.S. being a lot bigger. I see a plethora of products that actually can change your body one, how do I say it, one organ at a time, or one issue at a time. I see a big, proud family where we offer the best service we can for our people, the best platform we can offer for their business, and offer the opportunity in a proper way that's equal globally. I see hundreds of thousands of successful, serious stories becoming. I see millions of people improving their lives globally, millions of people. That's all because it starts from one person sharing with another. And this is just a part of it, and there's a lot more to come. I know it's been 4 years, and my new thing is on the vision of New Life. And I've been looking at that picture and how do you view it? And I look at it as that ladder I've been talking about. 20 steps, 30 steps, whatever it may be. We still haven't even reached the first step.
Yeah, it's I was described as it's only one chapter in a book, right? We still have the book, and it's amazing. And you have to know the lives that you've changed. More importantly, the lives you're going to change. And some of these people know, some of them don't. You talk about your plethora of product. They don't know that every day you have this new product or list of products, or you're ready to go. But at the end of the day, you focus on our field. How do you do that?
I mean, you have to start on the inside. I don't focus on the field. I learn from the field. Just like I take it back to the store days. And why is it a family? You have to get to know these people to be able to provide for them whatever they need. That's it, simple as that. And that's why I think of this as New Life is special, and it's different than anything else, because it's a continuation to what I've been doing for the last 25 years. And now it's close to 31 years, doing exactly the same thing. It's just at a Magnus scale, and it all goes back to the field, to the clients, to the customers, these people that are investing in me, in you, in us, in our leaders, to improve their lives, inspire them, and make them feel better. And this is our duty and obligation, and it's our honor to be able to carry this deal, and we have to take it very seriously. So it's always about the field. It's always about their desires, their needs, and what they require to be able to be successful and feel better.
It's kind of interesting to me, as the field invests in us, in their time, their efforts, their energy, you instill in us this obligation to invest back into them, right? Is that a good way to put it?
That's the least part. That's the smallest part we can do for these amazing people that invest in us.
Yeah,
really,
it's important. Yeah.
Really, right?
Really, yeah. So for us, at least for this portion, because we're going to come back a little bit and talk a little bit about the products, but for this, what's the final word you would want this field team to know about them, New Life, and our partners?
Wow, this is very complicated. So I want them to know that we're real. I want them to know that we're here for them. I want them to know that happy, trust, proud is something very important in everyday life. And then, of course, quality and integrity and consistency are some of the things that we actually feel together as one unit. And by you being here, you automatically become part of this. And it's important to us to make this journey together and go through the ups and downs together, because you can't just look at one side and, okay, I'm here for the happy and I'm leaving these people when it's bad. It's not like this. I've been doing this for a long time. This is my life. This is not a 5-minute investment or a 5-year investment. So you can rest assured your investment here is as permanent as you want it to be.
That's good. Well, everybody, thank you. Enjoy the time. We'll be back with you in a little bit.
Love that man. Love that man. All right. And when he says when I first met Alexi, just to add my own personal thing, I was in network marketing. I've been with several companies. I did pretty well with a few companies. This fell in my lap. I knew it was special. Then I met Alexi. Then I knew he was special. And then I kept saying, wow, he really does. He'll never, compromise the integrity of his products, his brand, his company. And we were out of product in 2018, and we didn't have anything to ship. And we were like at a crossroads, and he came to us and said, what should we do? And we said, let's keep signing people up. And then once we go live, we can go live. And it just blew up. But he would not cut corners. So he's building this for the long. You don't realize how special we are. And Darren, you absolutely crushed it. Get the point across that we're in the right place, with the right company, with the best compensation plan, with someone who the visionary, who is our formulator. It's rare to have a formulator as your CEO, and the best is yet to come. So chapter 1's in the books, but we're writing chapter 2. So this guy, we're all indebted to Alexi, but this guy, Joe Giuliano, the master distributor, Joe's number 1. We're all in Joe's business, whether we like it or not. We're all in his business. When he looks at a room, he's like, they're all my children. Yes, come to me, children. So he's a master distributor, but he's also advisory board member alongside myself, and he's just become my dear friend. And I'm indebted to the fact that he saw New You Life or saw Somaderm, saw the gel, and said, this is going to be the next big thing. Put your hands together for master distributor and Diamond Ambassador Joe Giuliano.
All right. Wait a minute. If we've been, we pulled the brake because we made you stand in the hall, so, come on, let's get, Always wanted to be one of those people. I know I look horrible at this. You're the fitness coach. Help me out here. Stretch out, get a break. Oh, my gosh. Are you guys enjoying the day? Darren said some things like we're going to knock down some walls. Listen, pre-COVID, our first event, it was out your way, which I wasn't even able to be there. I think Brian put it on. Wasn't there 450? It was you. Okay, so it was see, I was in the ballpark. And then we had the event in California. There was 900. And then we were here in September of 2018. We had 1,200. Okay, pre-COVID, we were all together. And seeing just a few of us come together, I'm proud of you guys. Give yourself a hand, okay? So everybody's not so comfortable, but it's happening. The world is opening back up, and I love that. And I appreciate the people that are watching on live stream. But I think back to when we started, and I'll tell you why I did this. I believed in Alexi. When I met him, he didn't talk about money. He was the polar opposite of every freaking executive I've ever met in this industry. And I immediately was able to feel it and understand his philosophies. And I'm like, wow, this guy's different than everybody. Don't you know when you meet someone different? Whether it's a kid, an adult, a teenager, you know when they're different, right? So when I met Alexi, I'm like, this guy's different. I can share or sell or whatever you want to call it, whatever he has. And then there was the gel. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a whole new marketplace. We created an entire new market, a new category, whatever you want to call it. So I had this, listen, I cannot take the credit for what New You Life has done. New You Life has been named the #1 fastest growing company in the world by Social Selling News. It's been named #3. It's been named #2. It's been named number 40 of the top 100. These are companies that are 20 years old. We're like children. We're like a child, and they're all grown up. And we're like, how are we put in this category, number 40 of the top 100? And all these companies have tenure and have done billions of dollars, and we're probably somewhere getting up on 700 million. Not bad for 4 years. But the reason that happened, and the reason I said I can't take credit for it, even Alexi can't take credit for it, because we did it together. I'm going to talk about a technique and teach you a technique that you can tweak to yourself, but you have to do it with respect. You have to do it properly. But what I want you to know is that you're looking for someone. You're putting together a team. Look at the Boston Red Sox. Do you think they don't have a kick-ass farm team? Sorry, my live stream. Right? The Red Sox. What do you think their farm team looks like? What do you think they're doing? They're out there hunting, right? Tina, when you were looking for your husband, you may not have even been looking for him, but somehow you found each other. Right?
If you were looking for your wife, you're looking for your husband, somehow you found each other, and then your kids came along, and then your family came along, and then it began to grow. Companies, churches, teams, no matter what it is, are built by people. They are not built by money. They're built by people with similar philosophies that can trust one another. And listen, what I'm going to talk to you about today is the way you find those people. It's one of those little technical things, but my goodness, it's what I do every day in my life. It's the favorite thing I do, and it's three-way calls. When I saw Kenny up here going, I put Johnny, I spoke to Joe Giuliano. I remember speaking to Kenny. I remember speaking to Johnny. I remember speaking to Chris. I remember speaking to Frank and Joe. I remember some of the things that were said. And it's not I. I just happened to be the one that had the ID number of one. And those guys were new and didn't understand the conversation, but was so cool is they were professionals. Chris is a professional. Not only do I know what he's going to say, I can trust what he's going to say, and I know he has my back. Same with Johnny, Kenny, Paul, all of them. Kelly, Patrick, Danielle, all of us on the advisory council. I know I can trust Tony and Steve if I have to call them and ask them to do a call for me. But it's a tight-knit family, and what I'm telling you, to get to that place of success is you have to get this groove going on every day of your life. You have to be looking forward to who's the next person you're going to talk to share about your experience and what's in it for them. Okay? And know the story. And guess how you learn that? Guess how you learn the story, the vision, where we are, where we were, where we are, and where we're going. Guess how you learn that? You show up at the presentations, you put people on phone calls, and you hear it. And listen, I remember my first year in network marketing. I remember my first month here. Every time Alexi talked, I was writing notes. We didn't meet for like 3 or 4 of the first months. It was just everything was over the phone. Things were moving fast, but when he spoke. And then there was one call he did for me, and I hung up the phone. I had him on a 3-way call, and I called him back, and I said, that's the video. Anybody remember that 3-minute video we had? It was 2 minutes, then at the end, we rolled the 6 months rolling benefits. Actually, between what Alexi said and we put in a video and those 6 months rolling benefits, I think people were like, oh my gosh, I gotta use this product. I gotta try that product, okay? So this is what I'm explaining to you. This is how you start to build the core of your team. You will find people by doing this. And I'm not saying that everybody in this room has to be the expert and has to be doing 3-way calls. What I'm saying to you is I want you to start doing them. I want you to start communicating with one another, the people that you know. I want you to connect the people that you know to somebody in leadership that you trust, their philosophies, the way they tell the story, the way they paint a picture. I mean, all I've done for the last 27 years, I think, has been kind of an artist with words. Is I explain the vision, where we were, where we are, where we're going, and what's in it for them. In sometimes 10 and sometimes 45-minute conversations. I look around at some of you and I'm like, yep, it was a 45-minute conversation that I had with you. But you're here. And maybe you talked to Chris, or maybe you talked to Don, or maybe you talked to Kelly, but you're here. You understand? You have to do this. If you're sitting there rolling your eyes at me, I'm telling you that your organization won't get to 100, it won't get to 1,000, it won't get to 10,000, because you have to find other leaders that are looking for something. So many people said it while they were up here. How many of you know, right now, one person that's looking for something? Come on. Every one of us. How many of you know 10 people right now that's looking for something? And I'll even go as far and say, how many of us know probably 100 people that are looking for something? Chris, you are right on. Guys, listen to me. I never do this, but I want to ask everybody to raise your hand right now. Every single one of us, because of what's gone on in this world for the last 2+ years, we all know 100 people that are looking for something. I'm telling you, you got to get to them, but the message has to be delivered in a way where it's compelling enough for them to go, oh, wow, I need to stop what I'm doing and look at this. I meet professionals all the time that don't even stop long enough what they're doing. They already come in with a predisposed thing in their head, okay? That, oh, they don't need to do this, okay? I was put on the phone with a professional NFL football player a couple weeks ago. And in my mind, I thought, this could go either way. And as soon as I got on there, I noticed the guy was a little cocky, and I was like, I don't want it to go that way. And I was warned about it. And I just had to tell the truth. One of the things when we're doing a call is we're transparent, right? We don't make things up. We don't say, hey, you're going to make $100,000. We don't do that. Yes, facts tell, and we want to stay away from facts, but we want to be authentic. Wouldn't you agree with that? But I got on the phone with this individual, and it was almost like he didn't want to be there, all right? Because sometimes when you've made millions of dollars in sports, anytime you are to show up somewhere, you expect someone to write you a $500 check so you can come in. Well, we don't do that. We've had thousands and thousands of athletes who've got on the gel and went, oh my, nobody needs to pay me to use this, right? They use it. But here's what I said to him. And this is like when you're digging in the anatomy of a three-way call, this is why we do it, okay? That person that's made millions of dollars, or that person that's been on TV, or that person that's on a billboard and like this famous attorney in town, whoever that famous person is, okay, they have probably more people that look up to them than most. How many would agree with that? So what they do normally is they don't look at the system, like Darren says, people don't have respect for it because we don't teach them how they can respect the philosophies and the training and the amount of money. Because guys, I'm telling you right now, there is no place, there is no business where you can start for less than $1,000 a month and financially change not just your financial tree, but your family's, other than network marketing. It's the truth, okay? It's the truth. I mean, in 1995, I was fixing airplanes, and in 1996, I was full-time at home with my wife, Lee, who was outside running registration. We get to work together for the last almost 30 years and grow up with our children because my cousin Tommy put me on a three-way call with Dr. Angelo Mitzos, who, by the way, is a podiatrist that was selling long-distance service in 1995. What the heck is that? Here I am. I'm talking to this podiatrist. I thought he was going to sell me some inserts or something. He starts talking about, I'm like, that's how it started, okay? But I'm telling you the anatomy of this three-way call. Back to the sports star. I know I ran down little, are you guys following me? You tracking, baby? You tracking? So I said to this person, you probably have enough personal power to call people and say, get in. Now, the reason I said this is he goes, oh, I've done that a couple times before. I said, what happened? He said, I signed up 17 people. Nothing happened after that. So it told me the story. I'm experienced enough where I knew exactly what he did. He called you and he said, hey, Drew, I need you to do this with me. Get your credit card out, but I'm using this product. We're going to build this business together. You ready? You're not going to say no to the guy that played pro football. And I called you, and I called you, and I slammed 17 people in, and 17 of you have never been on TV. 17 of you have never made $100,000 a month. 17 of you are just regular people who are plumbers and teachers and electricians and teachers and realtors, and help me. Dog trainers. What? Salesperson. Help me here. Come on. You're just regular people. You're not going to be able to call 17 people and slam them in so the buck stops there with the football player's offspring, family's dead. Now imagine if the football player would have said, hey, it's Joe. I remember we played for the Raiders, but let me tell you something. That's all over. You know that most of us guys, most of the guys we played with lose money. I'm going to put you on the phone with a guy named Chris Cavadon. He's been a developer. He's a realtor. He's a big-time business person, and I respect his philosophies, and I want him to tell you about this product. I need a few minutes of your time and your complete attention. And then when I get Chris on the phone with this guy, I am the distributor. I have two jobs. My job is to edify, and my job is to introduce. I respect Chris. He knows a lot more about business. As a matter of fact, you and him have some commonalities that you'll be able to understand each other. I'm going to step back. I'm going to elevate Chris. And I'd love this to introduce you to him. Billy, matter of fact, Chris, this is my friend Billy. I have a lot of respect for him, as I told you earlier. And it's amazing what he's been able to do in his sales position. But this product has him curious, and he sees something in it. Would you please share with him the kind of success that people like you and him have had? And I shut my mouth and I do not say another thing. I don't care if I think Chris said something wrong. I do not say another thing. My job is to edify, introduce. Chris will take it from there. Guys, I'm telling you right there, through this technique, if that football player would have done that, those 17 people would have said, I saw exactly what he did. Even though he's a big deal, he just told me that he is excited about this product, and there's really somebody that he wanted me to meet. Don't you think that one of those 17 people, or 17 out of those 17 people, would say, wow, he thought enough of me to put me on the phone with him. He thought enough of me, and then it elevates that person. And when you got him on the phone with him and you say, Chris, let me tell you something about Drew. Drew's a minister. People look up to him. He's a fighter. He helps people every single day of his life, and I think he could do something great with this product. Drew, I don't even know you. I just made that up, but I know that you are a minister, so you have to be a people helper, someone who cares about others, right? I just dug it out of what's in there. And then Drew's sitting there going, wow, I didn't know he thought about me like that. Drew, thanks for taking the time to get on this call. I respect you, and I want to introduce you to somebody that I respect in business that is just amazing, that's teaching me a lot of things. You ask some questions. Let's learn together, my friend, because I'm new. Drew, Chris, Drew. This skill that I'm teaching you is the biggest skill that is passed over in this industry. Because you don't want to inconvenience yourself to pick up the phone, set an appointment, call people on the fly, connect two people, and I'm telling you, you've got to start doing it, and you've got to start doing it now. How many people can buy into what I'm saying? If you're edifying someone and you're making them feel good about themselves, is there anything bad about that? Who would want to feel good about themselves? Me? You? All of us. I want you guys to start buying into this technique, and I'm not going to tell you what type of goal to set, but I'm telling you right now, if you set your sights on one three-way phone call a day, every single day, one, somehow, some way, through all the monotony of life, find a way to introduce one person a day to your little tribe or family of leaders that believe in you, and you can have 3 of them, okay? Maybe it's Brooke, Jessica, and Jessica. Maybe they're the 3 that I'm answering to, and I go, which one of you ladies is available? I have somebody that I need you to talk to on a 3-way. I'm going to text all 3 at one time. Get these little team texts going on. If you're under Kelly, who's under Chris, if you're in that genealogy, and let's just say you're close to Kelly, so it's Kelly, Chris, and me, and you have us on the text, and you send a text and say, guys, I know this is kind of on the fly, but are any of you available? Yes, sometimes you want to match personalities with people, but you can't always do that. But what you will know is that when you put somebody on the phone with me, I will not embarrass you. I will get to know them. I will figure out their hot buttons. Even if you don't tell me, I'll figure it out, because I'll ask them some questions, because we've been doing this for so long. And I'll paint the picture and the vision, and my job is to help you collect the decision. I want you to win. And if you start doing this, guess what's going to happen? You're going to find your Kenny. I'm sorry, let me back straight up. You're going to find your Mike, who found your Chris, who found your Kenny, who found your Johnny, and really in Paul, and it just continues through actually 700 levels in depth of business. That's why I said I can't take responsibility for this. These guys and gals knew exactly what to do. I didn't have to give them this training. They seen it 50 times before, didn't you? You knew exactly what to do. My phone started ringing. Johnny was the only individual that I've ever spoke with in my entire 27-year career that said, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do this. And I went, shit, I believe him. First time ever. First time, I'm not kidding you. Ask Alexi. Ask Alexi if that's a true story, because Alexi was on the call, on that same call, I believe, and then I said some things, and then we brought him in. After the call, I called Alex, and I said, Alex, that's the first time that I did a call that this guy's not boasting. He's not like, look at me. I said, I think he's going to do it. And this Chris guy, and this Kenny guy, and this Paul, I was like, I didn't have to teach them how, see, they knew how to do it, and they knew to call me, and they knew he's probably going to get Alexi involved when he needed. And I was finding my tribe. Do you understand what I was doing? I was so freaking nervous when I was talking to them because I kind of knew who they were. I knew that they had thousands of contacts, and I knew that's where this needed to go. For goodness sakes, we started right after Thanksgiving and right before Christmas. And all this time, it's just, we kept doing three-way phone calls. I want you, as long as I'm talking about this silly three-way call, if there's one thing I want to ask you to do when you leave here this weekend, is have a darn goal. Because usually I say, look, you want to have a sponsoring goal, an income goal, and a rank goal, right? Sponsoring, income, rank. You always want those goals. But you will never get there if you don't break it down by the day and the hour and go, okay, he's right. Maybe I need to take myself out of the equation and put a professional in the seat. Put my people on the phone with a professional that knows where they came from, knows where they are, realizes where they're going, understands that we've probably touched a couple 100,000 people in the United States out of 350 million. Think about what I just said. That means every one of the people that each and every one of you know has probably not heard about New You Life. Would you say that's a fair and true statement? We have to get out there. And you, not we, you have to push the wall down. And you will push the wall down when you find that tribe of people that will help you push. That's exactly what happens. You taught me that tribe word, by the way. I used to think it was Jessica. She's crazy. Thank you. I'll say thank you. You did. But it kind of makes sense because it's people that recognized, wow, this Alexi Goldstein guy is different. They all felt the same way. I know. Did you feel the same way when you met him? I said he was, but then when he spoke, did you feel that way? Absolutely. And what about you? And Paul, he's different. He's not like a business shark guy. Oop, there's a loose screw up here. I almost tripped on it. And I was playing with that thing earlier. Like, does anybody have a Phillips head? And sure enough, we didn't. And I tripped on it, for God's sakes. Thank you, Lord, for not letting me fall. By the way, I always thank the Lord for introducing me to Alexi. And that's how I look at it. So I'm going to do that publicly. I always thank him for this opportunity because it has changed my life and my grandchildren's life, and I appreciate it. But I just want to ask you to do that today. When you leave here, don't forget this talk about three-way phone calls. When you go to do one, let's say you're on the fly and somebody doesn't answer this phone, don't hang up. Don't leave your prospect sitting on the other line. You have to be about business, and every single thing that you do has to be pointed in the direction of success. Let me give you an example. 9 times out of 10, when someone has a prospect on their cell phone and they're calling Chris for a three-way call, and Chris doesn't answer, instead of connecting the three when Chris's voicemail answers, they leave the prospect in the dark, and the prospect doesn't know what's going on or what's being said. Now, how many of you would like to ensure that even though he didn't pick up his phone at that moment, that probably within the next 24 hours that call is going to happen? How many of you would like to ensure that? I can almost freaking guarantee it if you just hit the merge button. Hi, Chris. goodness sakes, I know how busy you are. This is Joe, and I have my friend Nolan. Nolan's a very successful man, and I've told him a lot about you, Chris. So when you get a minute, will you call me back so I can connect Nolan and you? Thank you. Goodbye. Click. I have just emotionally connected Nolan and Chris. I edified both of them, and I told them both what I expect. How many of you could ensure that that call is going to happen? Nolan heard it happen. As a matter of fact, before I hang up, I'll say, hey, Nolan, say hi to Chris. Hi, Chris. Hey, Chris. Hey, Nolan. That felt like Tool Time or something. Didn't it? You guys, I'm serious. We didn't even plan that. They're just who they are. So wouldn't you say that's taking your business seriously? Wouldn't you say that's pointing the needle exactly where you want to point it in the way that you do things? You make that list, you start piquing interest, sharing information. When they ask questions, say, man, I'm new. I respect your questions, but I want to make sure they get answered with 100% proper answers, true answers. Let me get Kelly on the phone. Let me get Johnny on the phone. And just make that happen once a day. And I promise you, 30 days from now, your business will look totally different. It'll look the polar opposite of what it looks like today. And 90 days from now, it will blow you out of the water. And what you're doing is you're teaching a methodology, because now, instead of slamming people in and you being the deal, you're not the deal. All those people on your level 1, my level 2, they're calling me. I find out what makes them tick. I know the names of their children. I know the things, what their husband does for work or what their wife. I am getting a relationship with them. Your job is to keep introducing me to some key people. My job is to do phone calls from then, and then we're on level 3. And then we're on level 4. And then it gets magical when it starts going 10, 15, 20. But do you know it could be... Then you get an RV and travel the country. Okay? So I want you to understand how important this is, this skill, this philosophy, and I want you to love people and be yourself. And introduce people to one another and see if you can back away and let a professional help you build your business. How many of you would just love to hand something to someone and good things happen when that happens? Hand it to them, something good happens. Hand it to them again, something. That's the philosophy of a three-way call. We want to drive those levels deep. We want to get you wide, okay, so that it could be very profitable in the future, but when we drive it deep, that's where those profits come from. And we have to do that. Let us do it instead of you, so that each one of those people can say, wow, this was simple. All she did was share a video with me. Man, I think I can do this, because after they shared the video, they just put me on the phone. I can do that. I can share videos and put people on the phone. When people can say to themselves, this is simple, I can do it, I can make money at this, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to duplicate. Our business is about duplication. It's not about being a cowboy. Guys, you can do this. God bless you. This is awesome. I love this little event. We're going to push some walls down. Thanks for your attention. Give some away, John. Give some.
Hold up. We're giving away product. Hold up. We've got a box of nails. A box of nails. No, I'm just kidding. LLT. Here we go. I can see. Okay. 206110. No. You're a cheat now. I won 7 times. No? Okay. Nope. They must be in the bathroom. Here we go. 206017. No? Where are these people? Where did they go? There's not like 700 people left before. Okay, here we go. 206043. Yeah, beautiful. Another one? Another one?
Hey, Chuck, I'm sure you're going to have to give that to Tina. Maggie? Maggie.
That's right.
Sorry. Uh-oh. Who's Tina?
Uh-oh.
Jill?
Yes, hold on. Okay. 206. Why do I even say 206? They're all 206. I'm going to throw you a curveball. 260099. Number 99? No? Is everybody at the pool drinking heavily? What's going on right now? Okay.
206041.
206041. Stoney Tanner, come on up, grab yourself some down.
206086.
086, there you go, bro. Oh, there you go. You turned at the right time. You turned at the right time. Okay, do one more, give away a gel. Give away a gel. Hey guys, after this, you guys want to just go back to your room or whatever, just to change if you want to get something comfortable. We're going to go to the pool. We're going to have a little mixer at the pool. You want to start up when? You want to start up at like 2 minutes? I'm just kidding. But 7 or 7:30? 7:30? Oh, why 7:30? I want to be there at 7. Okay. I'll be there at 6:30, guys. Okay. Yeah, 077? You want to do one new review? You want to do a new review? Who wants to do one new review? Okay, hold up. You got it? Pick it up. You do it. Read it off.
206013. Lucky 13.
Oh, there you go. Congratulations. All right, guys, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Today was just round one. Tomorrow, we are going to dive into it. We will be by 10 o'clock tomorrow, 8:30 registration tomorrow. If someone hasn't had a ticket yet or hasn't grabbed their little lanyard or their little identification, but we're going to start 10 o'clock tomorrow sharp. We'll see you outside.